Welcome back. Now, government's decision to allow for the exploration for shale gas in the Karoo was highly criticized by environmentalists as well as farmers in the Great Karoo. Commonly known as fracking, the hydraulic fracturing for shale gas is seen as highly destructive to the environment, especially in an arid area such as the Karoo. Government's also been accused of not being open with the public about the process. But in a statement to Parliament, the Minister of Mineral Resources, Shabangu, said that only normal exploration would take place at the moment until a proper regulatory framework had been put in place and until government was satisfied that it could deal adequately with the consequences of hydraulic fracturing.
A monitoring committee will be established to ensure that these things happen. The establishment of the appropriate regulations, control and coordination systems is expected to take 6 to 12 months. Hydraulic fracturing, when and if it eventually happens, will be authorized under the strict supervision of the monitoring committee. In the event of any unacceptable outcomes, the process may be halted. In this regard, there will be ongoing research facilitated by relevant institutions to develop and enhance scientific knowledge. This includes, albeit not limited to, geohydrology of the prospective areas, methodologies for hydraulic fracturing in South Africa, and environmental impact. Cabinet decided that actions to give effect to these recommendations must be properly resourced, incorporated into the programs of the relevant departments and agencies, and capacity developed.
Well, the minister said the report of the task team investigating hydraulic fracturing here and abroad will be available on the department's website by tomorrow. She said the importance of the potential of the resource of energy there could not be overemphasized. The monetary value of this resource could be as much as 1 trillion rand.
History places us in a position to rewrite its course and prove our critics wrong. We have made a good start in South Africa. We can use this shale gas challenge to unite our country and forge a common vision of a truly successful nation. I would like to inform you that this House, the South African public, that the detailed report will be available on our departmental website by end of this week.
Well, opposition parties were still skeptical about the wisdom of the decision to lift the moratorium on hydraulic fracturing. Concerns were also expressed about the project falling into the wrong hands, benefiting only a small elite and not the communities that are affected.
Many South Africans believe that the government will allow drilling only so that the ruling party or its cronies can get rich. They fear that the government will be making decisions about whether or not to allow fracking based on what's good for their bank balances and not on what's good for the country. But there is something the government can do to render that line of thinking without foundation. There is a way to restore credibility. First, make sure that no politicians, former politicians, or companies set up to benefit political parties are given any licenses or permissions to exploit gas reserves. Secondly, use gas as a way of changing the way South Africa does empowerment. When companies involved are asked to comply with the BEE requirements of the Mining Charter, stipulate that the only empowerment that will count will be empowerment schemes that benefit workers for the companies involved and local communities where the gas drilling is taking place. That's real localization, Madam Minister.
The lifting of the moratorium on shale gas exploration at this stage is a short-sighted decision and not in the best interest of the environment. Critics of the practice fear groundwater will be contaminated, and local researchers have proven that groundwater contamination is a real threat. We all know that someday the planet will reach peak fossil fuels, not if but when. What we know that after the completion of fracking, the drilled holes will be sealed off with no guarantees that it will start to leak in the years to come and contaminate the water and the environment. If we allow fracking, if we believe that there will be no contamination of toxic waste after sealing holes, why do we not dispose of nuclear waste coming from Koeberg in these holes if the sealing is so effective? This will never happen, but what is the difference? Government has ignored the fact that fracking technology is banned in more than 155 jurisdictions around the world, where tens of millions of people live who have chosen to forego the economic benefits of fracking in favor of the environment. where they raise their children, grow their crops, and abstract their drinking water.
We take note that Cabinet has approved the report of the task team on shale gas also. We also welcome that there will be ongoing research. The IFP would like to be assured that the environmental issue will be an important part of this research. It is also clear that there will be development in the area and job creation, which is badly needed, which certainly will follow. Energy is an important part of South Africa's future. The price of crude and electricity has increased drastically. As we all acknowledge that gas is important to our energy requirements. It is also a cleaner.
It is therefore quite disconcerting that there is empirical proof from studies done in Dimrock, Pennsylvania and Pavilion, Wyoming, that fracking contaminates groundwater aquifers. Furthermore, in America it has been shown repeatedly that the volumes of water demanded by the fracking industry create an artificial drought for the agricultural industry. Now, having regard to the ANC's inability to provide even basic services, how can one trust it to oversee such a fragile exercise? Further, noting that the ANC already has numerous entities connected to it ready to jump at the economic opportunity fracking brings, makes one wonder if this option is truly designed to benefit all South Africans or only certain connected cadres.
Mining issues are particularly sensitive right now, and the South African public are in no mood to be ignored by government. We know there is an expectation that if gas is found, there will be huge benefits for South Africa as a whole, and the ACDP recognizes that potential benefits in terms of job creation, cheaper energy, and increased government revenue exist. But those who strongly oppose fracking say that water resources, the environment, and agricultural productivity will be compromised. The ACDP is not convinced that these risks have been fully investigated and considered seriously enough. We would also like to know more about the realities in not just countries, but communities where fracking is presently taking place.
The envisaged area of fracking is already extremely water stressed and cannot afford any water to be either wasted or contaminated by fracking processes. We are concerned to what extent, as the Minister indicated, the SKA, which we jointly host with Australia, will be affected. Perhaps the government can take advice from some experts. Senegal asked me, who said, and I quote, "This is the last piece of holy nature in this country. No money is worth this. You cannot replace pristine nature with money." And please, if only the government could also note that in terms of all that, I thank you.
The successful exploration of shale gas in the Karoo will come as the relief to the district, which has the highest number of people living in poverty. You must listen to this, Honorable Member from the Freedom Front Plus. In the Western Cape, Central Karoo alone is at 32.5% of poverty level, followed by the West Coast, 30.4%, and Overberg, 26.6% of poverty rate. The rate of unemployment in Central Karoo is staggering, Honorable Kurnov from Cope, at 30.8%. Moreover, the number...
Well, we have to leave it there for today. Our time is up. But join us again tomorrow when we bring you our final program for this quarter. Parliament rises at the end of the week for the spring recess, and so does View from the House. We will not have a program on Friday because of an extended morning live, so tomorrow will be our wrap for this term. Enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, goodbye.
Living in poverty.